Now on WRDE Coast TV.
A former Seaford High School athletic trainer charged with child sex abuse. What locals are saying about these shocking accusations.
Proposed plans for concessions on Dewey Beach. Why a bidder says they weren't given a fair shot, but the town says that's not the full story.
It looks like the winds are finally going to stop picking on us and cut us some slack before the weekend kicks in. I'll show you what I mean and what I'm tracking in a moment.
On the coast, a new study to reveal the true value of Delaware's shoreline and contribute to tourism.
From the beaches to the bays, coverage you can count on. WRDE Coast TV News at 6 starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with another gun reported in a school here on Delmarva.
It is our breaking news tonight. The Indian River School District has confirmed a student at Sussex Central High School brought a gun on school property this morning. According to the district, the school resource officer was notified by other students there at Central and responded to the incident. District officials say the student was taken into custody without incident and the gun was also confiscated. Luckily, the district says no students or staff were harmed, and after that, the school day proceeded as normal. Well, in Seaford, many say they knew the man accused of having an illegal relationship with a student.
WRDE's Charles Reinert is live in Seaford. And Charles, some of the emotions in town today were sadness and anger.
Charlie and Maddie, these accusations against Jerry Sedano had some people in Seaford today wondering how this could have happened in a community like theirs. This is the man accused of 6 felony child sex abuse charges. Jerry Sedano is a former athletic trainer at Seaford High School. Authorities say he had sex with a 17-year-old student multiple times between August 2016 and January 2017. These accusations have neighbors like Marty Vincent sad and angry.
I feel sad for him, for the girl that was involved, or anyone else, for the school, for all the kids that are going there to get an education.
The Seaford School District declined to do an interview today, but said in a statement it's fully cooperating with prosecutors and student safety is paramount. However, Luxander Alexis says it makes him nervous for other children in the area.
Don't let your kids hang out with all the kind of people, you know. That's terrible.
It's not clear exactly how Sedano knew the victim, but those who knew of Sedano say they are shocked.
Well, we just don't hear about it here. You know, it seems to be from the bigger places, but I guess it can happen anywhere. And I was shocked at first, and because I have heard of him.
A community looking for accountability.
That should not happen. So, you know, sometimes, people get crazy sometimes.
And looking to heal.
But I like my town. I'm proud of Seaford, and most of it's good.
Police say they fear more victims could be out there. If you have any more information, you are asked to contact Delaware State Police. With coverage you can count on, live in Seaford, I'm Charles Reinert, WRDE Coast TV News.
Thank you, Charles, and we will continue following that story. Nobody wants to lay out on a trash-filled beach, but just how Dewey Beach plans to handle keeping their portion of the coast clean this summer is something that's still up for debate. That's because the town says no vendor submitted a plan for trash and concessions that meet the town requirements. Now, that last part is key. WRDE's Heidi Kirk shows us why one bidder says they did submit a plan for both, and they don't feel like they had a fair shot.
These are the concessions proposed by Beach and Bash in Dewey Beach.
We saw an opportunity to bring to the town, to bring to people, so when they come here, it's like, wow, this is really cool.
Jim and Erica Curlin put in a bid to handle concessions and trash collection when the town's current vendor's contract expired. The bid by the Curlins wasn't accepted by the town.
Myself, the town solicitor, the assistant town manager, and the town clerk sat in on that process. Then I went to the meeting on December 16th and informed the commissioners and the public that we didn't feel that that bidder met the requirements.
So just what were they missing? According to the town, the Curlins didn't have the proper experience. They also wanted to subcontract out the trash collection, among other things, ultimately leading the town to go a different direction. But the Curlins say they don't feel the process was fair.
I don't think it's a town manager's job to say, I don't feel like you had the experience. I think it's his job to take it to the town council, to the public, to look at us, to vet us, to ask us questions and then decide.
The Kurlands also feel the public wasn't well enough informed about the bid, but the town manager says commissioners were informed in a public meeting.
So what exactly is the future of trash collection here on Dewey Beach? Well, the town is currently accepting bids for a new trash collector. That bidding process closes on Friday, and after that, they'll look at their options and decide what to do from there. With coverage you can count on, I'm Heidi Kirk, WRDE Coast TV News.
As we take a live look now into Seaford from our Tidal Health Nanocoke camera, hard to tell from the sunshine, but as Paul says, don't let the sunshine fool you. It is windy and gross. Our chief meteorologist, Paul Williams, joins us now with a first look at our forecast. I mean, wouldn't you say it's gross, Paul?
Gross, you said?
Gross.
Yeah. Well, one thing it is extremely inconvenient. Let's call it that at the very least, shall we? I mean, look at this. We're looking at the winds continuing to come out of the northwest. We have 22-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Del Mar, 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts at this hour, by the way, in Salisbury, and a 30-mile-per-hour wind gust out of Milton. Well, that will rock your world as far as trying to be comfortable outside. But now here's the good news. Tomorrow, we wake up to clear skies, no winds. 8 o'clock. 33 degrees, but at least it's not breezy. Then we go up to 43. Then we go into the 50s by lunchtime. But we're not talking about crazy winds coming out of the northwest. That's going to make you rethink your life decisions, right? So we're looking at a good deal of sunshine, temperatures approaching the 60-degree mark. So things are going to get better for tomorrow. But then the weekend changes back up again. So we'll talk about that weekend weather coming up in a moment. Till then, back to you, Maddie.
Helping the coast that fuels the local economy, beach towns are working with the University of Delaware assistant professor and student to update a 10-year-old study on the health of Delaware coasts and the impact on the state's economy. Those who rely on the coast for their livelihood say it's important to focus on its well-being so they can continue business as usual.
Saving our environment is extremely important, and saving our wetlands, but at the same time, saving that, we can't save that unless we're generating money. So it kind of goes hand in hand with each other.
The report for the project is expected to be finalized by June 5th.
Fenwick Island released its revised resiliency plan draft on Tuesday. According to town officials, there are items in the draft that they need to start doing by 2023 that need to be completed by 2040 to help fight against rising sea levels. Those items include installing and improving bulkheads, improving drainage, conducting beach replenishment, planning a way to pay for future resiliency projects as well.
The Rehoboth Beach Environmental Committee will meet March 17th at 10:30 at City Hall. According to the city, commissioners will provide an update and discuss the potential impacts of offshore wind farms coming to the coast. The agenda says commissioners may discuss and possibly implement a plan for their non-idling policy so cars just can't stop. They want it to help reduce emissions in a cost-effective way. Another discussion that's part of the agenda is to evaluate the city's recycling program in public spaces.
Governor Carney will sign 2 pieces of legislation tomorrow afternoon at Legislative Hall. The state says one piece of legislation includes recognizing World Down Syndrome Day, which will also be known as Rock Your Socks Day. I kind of love that. The day will take place on March 21st, where you can wear brightly colored, mismatched socks and celebrate to raise awareness. Another piece of legislation that the state is going to sign, that Carney is still going to sign, will recognize Irish American History Month.
Attention drivers, a road closure coming to Ellendale on Monday. According to DelDOT, West Robbins Road between Redding Road and Maple Branch Road will close on March 20th. DelDOT says that road is being closed due to bridge improvements. The agency says it expects the project to be finished by late May.
Sussex County Council is inviting the public to offer suggestions for the upcoming 2025 to 2030 Capital Transportation Program request. County Council says it will submit requests to DelDOT in September. Council officials say submissions are open now and will go through this Monday, March 20th at 4 p.m. The county says it will review all suggestions before compiling a draft report for County Council consideration. Then that draft report will be submitted to DelDOT.
Maryland Transportation Authority is seeking highway maintenance workers. The agency says it's an entry-level job where a worker will be at construction facilities, including bridges, highways, roads, tunnels, and more. Officials say employees can work independently or be a member of the crew. They say the department will also offer free training to learn how to operate a construction truck.
It's another one of those stories, ladies and gentlemen. Maryland police say that scammers are impersonating police officers over the phone. According to troopers, scammers will pose as officers asking for information, saying it's for a police investigation. Troopers say in some cases the scammers asked for donations to support law enforcement and their families. MSP says that the impersonator will sometimes use a real name of an officer in an attempt to gain the victim's trust. State police want to remind the public it does not call individuals and request money from citizens. If you believe you've been the victim of a scam, troopers say to call the police department.
Milford Housing Development Corporation has been awarded to administer the statewide emergency repair program through Delaware State Housing Authority. According to Milford Housing officials, they'll be the single point of contact for the program and operate in all 3 counties. They say the program will address emergency conditions threatening the health or safety of eligible Delaware homeowners. That includes fixing up heating systems, plumbing, electrical wires, and roofs. Milford Housing says to qualify for assistance, homeowners need to have valid ownership proof, live in that home for a year, and also meet income guidelines. We are just getting started this evening.
Oh, do we have some tea for you and some coffee, maybe a breakfast sandwich. Coming up, a new Starbucks in Lewis when representatives say it should be open.
And it was a little chilly this morning. We started off at 34 degrees for the morning low in Georgetown, 32 Salisbury, and 33 Salisbury, and 32 in Ocean City. But this crazy cold start to the day might finally come to an end.
But Berlin's animal code under scrutiny after rogue pig sightings increase residents' concerns. That's right. We'll have that story and more in just 60 seconds.
On the next wheel, Stephen hits.
Big money, big money.
1.
Can he do it again?
2. 3 times in a row.
Wow.
But can he solve it?
Wednesday at 7 on WRDE Coast TV.
Next Jeopardy! Has returning champ Stephen Webb started celebrating too soon?
Hangover cures? Hair of the dog.
Oh boy, you wrote this for me, didn't you?
Next Jeopardy!
Wednesday at 7:30 on WRDE Coast TV.
What is home? Home is comfort when things don't go as planned. Home is family when the rest of the world is out of reach. Home is fun, where we'll do just about anything to entertain. Now transforming your house into a home is easier than ever. Save up to 25% off luxury looks during our Elevate Home event. When home is all we have, why not create exactly what home means to you? Furnitureland. From here to home.
It wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back, but the pig? Berlin is in talks of changing the animal codes in town.
WRDE's Carmen Holland shows us how sometimes one oink can spark change.
Gina Valong has been an animal lover her whole life, and she wants to see some changes to the animal code in Berlin.
Strike dog as a specification and make it animals in general, with the definition of what an animal is, a domestic pet, and the county's already done this.
A recent incident with a roaming unclaimed pig sparked increased interest.
The pig was just a gravy. It was just gravy. It was like, that just proves my point.
Council members tell me there's already a leash law in place for dogs in Berlin, but they want to update the new code to include all animals that are considered pets for their safety, for the town's safety, and the safety of visitors. And some people are on board.
There are some things that people don't get to experience from outside of dogs and cats, the basic animals, and if you can understand your animal, go ahead, let other people see it.
But some in town, like Tony Week, think another ordinance isn't going to do much.
I don't think the code would do anything. I don't think the code would enforce anything. It's sort of hard for us to enforce any code.
All in all, Gina says the town code needs to reflect the new times.
That's the key that I'm after, like just good neighbors and accountability.
Keeping Berlin safe for all pets, with coverage you can count on in Berlin. I'm Carmen Holland, WRDE, Coast TV News.
With the proposed changes in the animal code approved by the Planning Committee, the next step is to present it to Town Council.
There will be a new Starbucks coming to Route 1. A Starbucks spokesperson says the location will be right here. For those familiar, that's the green space near Sandy Bray, Bob Evans, and the Acme. They say this location will employ 25 people and it'll be drive-through only. The Lewis-based real estate company Reed Ventures says it expects this new Starbucks to open by August 2024.
Spring is going to come later this month, so long as Paul lets that happen. So that means vacation time, or a day to go out and enjoy the Cape May Lewis Ferry for a ride, is fast approaching. The Cape May Lewis Ferry says it's released its schedules for spring and summer of 2023, free to book online and for upcoming trips. The ferry will continue to operate under its current winter schedule. That is until March 31st.
Well, still expecting a chilly morning for Thursday, but it's going to be better without crazy winds. I mean, we're going to start off at 33 degrees, but look where we'll end up with sunshine and temperatures approaching the 60-degree mark. So tomorrow's okay, but the weekend may be a little rainy. Stick around, I have more to tell you.
This is the 2023 Nissan Pathfinder and Rogue. With a range of drive modes, you can take a Sunday stroll in the least basic of places.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on Rogue.
Keep it fresh. Keep it local with Baywater Trading Company. You can find fresh, homegrown, and wholesome produce and meats, or sign up for a CSA program available for every season. Plus, artisan breads and donuts freshly baked in-house daily. Check out our vinaigrettes or creamy dressings, tasty homemade sauces, and more, including our own CBD.
Come visit Baywater Trading Company Wednesday through Sunday.
Located on Route 50 in Hebron, or check out weekly events on Baywater Trading Company Facebook page today.
At Gateway Subaru, we're more than just a car company. We're a community driven by a love for adventure and a commitment to excellence. And that's why we're proud to offer our customers the ultimate car buying experience, where our highly trained professional staff will provide safe, reliable vehicles without the hassle of high-pressure sales or the worry of ever paying over MSRP. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
I've been in the home exterior industry for over 30 years, personally installing thousands of roofs and siding. And I bring that experience to the All Exteriors team.
And a high-quality product. So tell me about your crew.
Our crews are certified in every product we install. Our experience and our certifications is what makes All Exteriors a company you can trust.
Call All Exteriors and get 20% off all siding and roofing materials. And no payments, no interest for 12 months through March 31st. Call All Exteriors today for your free estimate.
Is the name of your bank changing again? The Farmers Bank of Willards has been a local independent bank for nearly 100 years. When you bank local, your money stays here in our community, where it benefits our local businesses, farms, and families. The Farmers Bank has real people ready to help and world-class features like our free mobile banking app with Locket debit card security, a Smart Sense savings program, and free checking with no minimum balance. Stop paying extra fees and switch to the Farmers Bank of Willards, where people matter.
This is the 2023 Nissan Pathfinder and Rogue. With a range of drive modes, you can take a Sunday stroll in the least basic of places.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on Rogue.
The winds haven't just been, let's say, wacky. That's a nice way to put it. They have been, pretty blustery, but we're going to finally get a break from all of that, just so you'll know. I mean, we had 33-mile-per-hour wind gusts for us in Georgetown, 36-mile-per-hour wind gusts as our highest gust in Salisbury, and 33-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Ocean City. So with that kind of action happening with a chance of rain over this weekend, be sure you scan that QR code in the corner of the screen because you will need it. Now, we do have small craft advisory, so been downgraded from a gale wind warning down to a small craft advisory. So we're backing off of the winds. Another hint that good news is happening for us. Instead of watching out for 45, 50-mile-per-hour winds, we're looking for about 25-mile-per-hour winds. That's the difference between that gale wind warning versus, let's say, a small craft advisory. It jumps to the other side of the scale, so to speak. Trough is going to slide through, but it's really not all that strong of a trough, but it will bring a few extra clouds our way throughout the late Thursday going to Friday time frame. Temperatures right now, we're at 51 in Georgetown, 50 in Salisbury, but it's 49 degrees currently in Bethany Beach, 48 degrees in Rehoboth and Lewis, and 50 degrees right now in Assateague. But the winds are still pushing out of the northwest, even though they've backed off a lot. Because it's coming out of the northwest, this is a dry and a cooler wind. So that makes you have to still bring that jacket with you because it still feels like 44 degrees in Milton, but it's not a comfortable 44. It's a still where you win your jacket, windbreaker or jacket, 41 degrees. So let's talk about Thursday. We wake up to 33 degrees in the inland areas, 35 along the shore, but sunshine. So this time by the afternoon, you can trust the sunshine this time around in the afternoon hours because it's going to push it to about 60 degrees. Now we go into Friday and the winds are shifting out of the south. That's a good thing for our comfort level because with that southerly flow, it brings in more moisture, which helps us out, and a little more warmth. But it also brings an opportunity for a quick developing spot sprinkle to pull through because it's been so cool. And then Friday night, the models are indicating we may see some scattered showers. But once again, it's all about when the winds change. You see, Thursday, they're coming out of the north, but Friday, they come out of the south by the afternoon. So that's that dramatic change in winds. It's where we have to start watching out for stuff. But for Thursday morning, we're still going to start off in the 20s with the wind chill factor. Then it'll get much better after that. Quick look at our yard sale forecast, by the way, over the weekend. We are expecting Saturday, just a 24% chance of rain. And Sunday, we should be okay. Here you go. Clear again, cold again for tonight, 31. For tomorrow, 60 degrees. And then for St. Patrick's Day, as you're celebrating in the morning time, we're expecting for it to stay cooperative with you and 49 degrees. But by the afternoon, we anticipate temperatures well into the 60s. Finally, here's a look at your extended forecast. 20% chance of rain on Friday, clearing out for the weekend and clearing out for all of next week.
Thank you, Paul. The Lewis Public Library is hosting its 7th annual job fair on March 25th. The library says the fair will take place from 11 to 1. Staff members say local businesses will interview teenagers for seasonal and year-round positions. The job fair is only open for 14 to 19-year-olds.
And speaking of jobs, Summer Jobs, Funland Amusement and Theme Park in Rehoboth Beach, they're hiring ride attendants. And that is for the 2023 season. The park says ride attendants must be at least 16 years old, and you can apply for this job online.
A roadside cleanup is scheduled for Earth Day in the greater Bethany Beach Fenwick area. The Bethany Fenwick Chamber of Commerce says the Delaware Coastal Community Cleanup will take place April 22nd from 8 to 12 p.m. The Chamber of Commerce says participants can choose to clean up roadways in the areas of their choice or be assigned to a specific area. Those interested in participating can sign up until 8 a.m. on April 21st, and a link to that can be found on WRDE.com.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Yeah, first we want to give a huge shout out to all you Delaware folks who've tuned in to our broadcasts throughout the winter season. We're looking forward to getting to baseball, lacrosse, and ladies soccer starting up spring next week. But for you Eagles fans, though, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to watch Darius Slay in green next fall. The Pro Bowl corner was released by Philadelphia earlier today and officially became a free agent at 4 p.m. this afternoon. The move saves the Eagles $14 million in cap space for the following year, albeit they lose a 5-time Pro Bowl corner who was a key part of Philly's NFC champion defense last season. The move comes a day after the Eagles gave D-back James Bradbury a 3-year, $38 million deal with $20 million guaranteed. Slay becomes the second starter to lead Philly's defense after D-tackle Javon Hargrave signed a 4-year deal to team up with Nick Bosa and the 49ers. As always, be sure to use Delmarva Sports on social media for your local sports updates. That'll do it for sports. We'll see you later tonight.
Your tax return over there. Your tax return at Alton Brothers Home Furnishings in Salisbury. Let Alton Brothers help you get more for your tax money. Alton Brothers, furnishing Delmarva for over 75 years. Have you been to Alton Brothers Home Furnishings in Salisbury lately?
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah.
Sick.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Buy a stylish Corolla sedan, hatchback, or cross with special APR financing as low as 3.99%. Or take low financing on a Camry with available all-wheel drive.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. I've been handling personal injury cases for more than 20 years. So long that the other day, a client said to me, "You've been on TV for so long that my grandmom was watching your ads back when she got her first television." I chose to take that as a compliment, as an experienced attorney. Folks, if you need an experienced attorney, tip the scales of justice in your favor, call Schwartz & Schwartz today.
From empty nester to first home, Accessible Home Builders does it all.
It was great working with Scott at Accessible Builders. He called us every Monday and
asked us to come over to the house at each step of the way during the construction of our home.
It was pretty unique working with Scott because not only is he the owner, but he was working in here hands-on with his employees and really just trying to make our vision come to life.
Design your dream home with Accessible Home Builders.
Hard workers agree. The best footwear is essential. Vernon Powell has the support and comfort you need. Brands like Dansko, Carhartt, and Timberland Pro, plus expert advice and that Vernon Powell fit. Shop Vernon Powell in Salisbury and Rehoboth.
The latest and most up-to-date stories for your coastal community. Download the WRDE News app on your Apple or Android devices. Just search WRDE Coast TV. The WRDE Coast TV News app. Coverage you can count on.
Your tax return over there. Your tax return at Alton Brothers Home Furnishings in Salisbury. Let Alton Brothers help you get more for your tax money. Alton Brothers, furnishing Delmarva for over 75 years. Have you been to Alton Brothers Home Furnishings in Salisbury lately?
The Lewis Public Library and Browse About Books in Rehoboth will host a free online event 5 p.m. March 16th. The Lewis Library says the event is featuring author Michelle Fishburne, who wrote a new book called Who We Are Now. The library says her book has stories about people's experiences during the pandemic, what they lost, but also what they found.
A fire in Dewey Beach during dangerous winds, what firefighters told us today. That story coming up on News on WRDE News at 11.
Well, right now we want to take a look at our forecast. But before we get to that, remember, you can enter our umbrella giveaway. Simply go to coasttvumbrella.com. This is courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. We're looking at a 20% chance of rain Friday in the afternoon, well, evening or night. But then most of Saturday will be clear and Sunday will be cooler, but still clear. And then next Thursday and Friday, well, now that's when rain is going to be a possibility 3 days in a row.
Paul, and thank you for joining us here for WRDE News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download that WRDE News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for WRDE News at 11. Have a great evening.